Time is the only asset that you have that is not plentiful. It does not, except for the scripture, it does not increase. You can increase it by exercise, by eating right. You can increase the amount of time that you spend on this earth. But in a given day, in 24 hours, you cannot get any more time than 24 hours out of a day. I don't care what people tell you. You can pick up 24 hours and that's it. Can't have any more than 24 hours in a given day. So anything that takes away from your 24 hours that is not productive is stealing from you. It's taking away from you. And so it comes a time that you realize all I got is 24 hours in a given day. I need to be efficient with those 24 hours. So you start working to keep things away from you that will steal your time. That's very, very important. The Bible says that the Lord will allow us to redeem our time, that He will renew our strength in us as our youth, that we can have strength like an eagle, that our days can be long on this earth, but you're only given 24 hours in one day. It doesn't matter if you live 120 years, you're only going to have 24 hours in one day. One day, 24 hours, that's it. You have to be efficient with that 24 hours because you can't make any more time out of 24 hours. You only have so much time in one day. So recognize the value a day has. I'm not talking about your years. You can increase in years. You can increase in the amount of days, but you cannot increase the amount of hours in a day. So if there's something that's stealing from you, that's taking away from your day, taking away from your business, taking away from your family, taking you away from your own peace, you need to lay it aside. Find those things that are affecting you, that are causing you to not be efficient in your 24-hour day, and begin to eliminate them. The older you get, I hate saying it like this, but the older you get, the more valuable your 24 hours becomes. Here's what that means. Your hour is worth a certain amount of dollars. I hate saying it like this, but it's true. And you exchange the hours of your day for money. So that's the proof of your value. I'm going to show you something. Some people need to recognize how valuable is your hours. Hey, Velma, God bless you. Some people, we need to recognize how valuable your hour is. How valuable is your day? This is something my father taught me. I'll never forget it because he really did something to me that changed the way I began to think about this. So he asked me, how much am I worth? And so I said, I don't know, I'm priceless. And he goes, but in a given day, if I was going to pay you an hourly salary or an hourly wage, what would you say that value would be? Well, I got to tell you, I thought I was really pushing the envelope. And I went ahead and told him, I said, I think I'm worth at least $100 an hour. He goes, okay, very good. So then he said this, he goes, let's take a look at what you're really worth. $100 an hour. So if I hire you for 8 hours a day, you're telling me $800 will satisfy you for your given day. That was really a funny way of putting it. And I'm doing something right now because I'm gonna grab my phone's going berserk. I'm gonna grab my calculator here because I'm gonna show you what he did to me. He grabbed the calculator and he did this thing. He says, all right, you're worth $100 an hour. I said, yeah. So every hour of the day is worth $100. And you're telling me if I hire you for 8 hours a day, you're saying $100 an hour will satisfy you. That's $800 a day, right? I said, well, yeah. He says, okay, here's your flaw. He says, if you take $800 and you divide that by 24 hours in a day, you're actually telling me your value is only worth $33.33. So he said, so one of two things happened. You either lied about your value or you misunderstand how much time you have in a day. That blew me away. So if I get paid at a company $100 an hour, everybody says that's fantastic. You're really only making $33 an hour in your given day because it's taking up your time. Now, a lot of people would be happy with, $800 a day. I don't know anybody who would not be happy with $800 a day. $800 a day is a handsome living. If you got $800 a day, you multiply that by 5 days a week, that's $4,000 a week. You multiply that by 52 weeks in a year, that's $208,000. I don't know anybody who would not want $208,000. Makes sense, right? But let's put it in natural orders. Let's shoot for a $15 minimum wage. All right, we're doing a $15 minimum wage. Multiply that by 8. That means you make $120 a day. To me, that's not enough money. $125 or $120 a day, but you actually have to divide that by 25 hours a day. That means you're only really worth less than $5 an hour. Are you seeing this? You got to understand what your value is. So you're worth $5 an hour. When you get paid $15 an hour, you're worth that. You're right. Your actual value is $5 an hour because you can't get any more hours out of the day. Now you could probably put in overtime. You could probably put 10 hours and get $15 an hour. So the key thing that I'm saying has nothing to do with, this is not a political statement, and this has nothing to do with degrading your value. It's important for you to understand what is your real value. So for instance, my pool, I'll give you an idea. My pool, I could have hired somebody to repair my pool, okay? But it's going to take them, they're going to charge me about $100 to $150 an hour just to come look at the pool. It's going to be 2 hours. So I'm going to top side it. So that's $300, 2 hours at $150 an hour, plus the cost of the parts. So the parts of the lid, they were going to charge me the cost of the lid is probably about another $80 for the cost of the lid. Okay, so now I'm at $380 for the cost of that lid. Then they have to come back and install that lid. So that's another hour of time. So I'm going to add on $380, another $150 an hour that they're going to charge me. So to repair my pump, it was going to cost $530. Now they would have thrown in a couple of extra stuff because there's no way they're going to spend 2 hours or 3 hours on it. So they were probably going to throw in, we're going to clean out your filters. We're going to clean the grass around your pump area. We're going to make sure that's nice. So it's going to cost $530 for the repair of my pool pump. But here's what happened. I looked at it because I know a little bit of something about pool pumps, right? I looked at it. I saw it concaved. I knew for a fact that's what it was. I went ahead and I went to the internet all the time. I'm going to tell you all the time I put into it. I went to the internet. I searched my pool pump. I found my pool pump. I placed the order of the pool pump. It took me about 30 minutes to place the order of that pool pump. The cost of the lid itself, cost me $24 with shipping and everything. So it's like $20 for the lid, and I bought an extra O-ring. So I think I spent about $35 for the whole lid. It came in last night. I have a little tube, so I'm at $35. Plus, I had a little tube of silicone. That little tube cost $9. I'm gonna put the whole price of the tube in there. So I have $44 in it. And I'm going to say I put in about, I'm going to call it an hour. Okay? So now, if I subtract the $580, I'm at $336 savings at the cost of that. $336 savings versus hiring somebody else to do it. So if it took me a whole hour, adding everything up, it took me a whole hour to put all this together. Guess what my hour is worth? $536 an hour. Because I saved $536. My hour value now is $536. Because I saved $536 and it took me an hour to do it. Cost me $44, but it actually saved me $530 to over $500, that means my hourly value is $500. Are you seeing how an entrepreneur's mind works? Is what would it take me to make the $550, $560, $580 that they were going to charge me to fix that? How much time would it have taken me to make that money, to put it in the hands of another person? Instead, I did it myself. And I was able to save, and I was able to value myself at over $500 an hour. So you got to recognize what the value of your time is. Right now, I'm spending probably 30 minutes talking with you here. So in reality, this talk is costing me $250 based on those numbers. So I have to ask myself, is it worth it? My friends, you're worth every penny of it, and 10 times more. And that's the way I value things. So I look at how much I make in a given month. I divide it by how many days are in that month. And I look at how much time that I spend in that week or in that day doing that project. And I'll know whether it's worth it or not worth it. If it's not worth it, I'm going to quit doing that. If it's worth it, I'm going to keep doing it. Now, the unique thing about the position that I happen to be in, because I'm not just a person working to provide a living for my family. I am an entrepreneur. I'm working to provide finances for others around me. And there are people that do receive money from me, so I'm able to help their families out. Big or small, I'm able to help their families out. So that benefits me. But even more so, I'm what's called an influencer. An influencer is a person who puts value into somebody else's given day. Just by those that are on my social media, I'm influencing you. So I'm praying and believing that I'm putting value into your into your knowledge. Like, for instance, Brenda, I'm literally underpaid. That's right. But see, the beauty of that is you recognize now you are underpaid. So now you begin to establish your value. Then here's what happens. Once you establish your value, this is the lesson my father taught me. Once you establish your value, now you can attach your faith to your value and to begin to believe God for you to receive what you're worth. See, the Bible says something very important. He says, you have not because you ask not, or you ask amiss. That's what the scripture says. It doesn't just say you have not because you ask not, because a lot of people ask and they still don't get. So there's two possibilities of why you're not receiving. Number one, you didn't ask, or number two, you asked and you asked wrong. You asked amiss. So you have to be refined in your request. When I learned this lesson from my father, I increased my value. And I said, I need to make sure, first of all, my time's value is not worth, look, I'm worth a whole lot more than 8 hours a day. And that set me free. Boom, mind blowing, bam, mind blowing. What do you mean 8 hours a day? I got 24 hours in a day. I need to count every hour. So I decided to start making declarations to change my mind, to change my whole personality. I make these declarations. I got to make this day pay. This day must pay. I got to make sure the day pays, because look, I am a self-earner. I don't have an employer. I don't have anybody that writes me a check and employ. My employer are the people that I work for, that I have to increase their value. I have to make sure that they are profitable. If they're not profitable, I'm not going to receive a check from them. But my employers don't give me a check on, I don't punch a card. I don't receive a salary. I have to earn it. So I have to find individuals that I can, and companies that I can increase their value. And so whatever it is that I bill them, they have to be making at least 10 times that. Understand me? So if I'm going to charge a client $10,000, I want to make sure they're going to make $100,000. If they don't make $100,000, there's no way on earth they're going to be able to afford to pay me my $10,000 fee. Are you seeing how that works? So I had to change my whole mindset. I no longer work for an hourly wage. I no longer equate myself as an hourly charge. I no longer look to wasting my time, and I recognize when I'm doing something, how valuable that thing that I'm doing is. I have this fantastic wife. I love her to death, literally to death. And even that, we said in our vows, till death do us part. And I work. I'm on the phone. I'm on the internet. I'm on the, I'm emailing. I'm writing business plans. And then while I'm working, I'm driving around the city. While I'm working, my wife calls me and says, hey, you hungry? And most of the time, I'm not hungry when she asks me that. But the moment she asks me, hunger hits me. I don't know why that happens. And I say, yeah, let's go somewhere. So we meet somewhere, we sit down and we eat. And I have to recognize, based on the numbers I just showed you, sitting down and eating with my wife is worth $500. I'm investing over $500 in that hour of lunch, spending time with my wife. Recognize your value. And my wife recognized that. And I recognize she has a value. She has a monetary value too. She has a price. So when we spend time together, that's the value that we're investing in each other. When I sit down and when I turn on the television and I go to watch Netflix or I watch a TV show, the first thing that comes to my mind is, how much is this going to cost me? Is that show worth it? And I'd be doing something else. And I'm going to tell you, 90% of the time I turn it off and I go do something else that's going to generate that income, because I'm a self-earner. Got to recognize that. I don't even like using the word self-employed, because that means I'm employed. I'm an earner. I'm an earner. You know, the videos that I created, Earn Everywhere, you got to recognize some of these things that I'm saying. I'm making these statements that are so factual. So I'm a self-earner. You are a hourly earner if you're working hourly. You're employed. That means enslaved. See? Come on, change your mindset. How do you get set free from this thing? Let me tell you how to get set free from it. First of all, recognize your value. Second of all, recognize that if you're employed, you are enslaved. And now that's not to say that there's anything wrong with that. Because you're actually exchanging services. So you change your mind that you're no longer enslaved, you're no longer employed, even though your employee's cutting you a check. Don't look at yourself. If you like doing what you're doing and the wages are really good and what you're earning is fine, you don't have to look at it like you're a slave. What you do is you look at it as if you're exchanging a value. Because if you learn, okay, I'm not enslaved anymore, you're not my employer, you just happen to be the company that I'm exchanging my value, because I think it's valuable, because I'm putting into the business my time. And if I'm putting into business my time, if I give you an hour, you know what I'm giving you? I'm giving you 1 hour of my life, because I can't get that back. So now I got to ask myself even a heavier question. Is working in this company worth my life? Worth 1 hour of my life? Well, yeah, you have to exchange your life for you to live in other areas. I got to pay my car note. I got to put food on my table. I got to pay bills, but recognize that it's your life. When you begin to value it that way, then you can begin to run and dissect. Am I being efficient? How can I, if you're attached to a business, and you need to ask yourself this question, how can I increase value to this business because it's costing me my life? And if you increase value into a business, you get to the point where the business cannot be without you. And when the business recognizes it cannot be without you, guess what's about to happen? You're about to get paid. You're about to get paid big time. See, this part of the topic, I always notice I lose people's attention, because it's somewhere people just kind of get disconnected. I lost a whole bunch of people watching. They stayed with me for a while, and I saw the numbers go down. A whole bunch of people missed out on this. Appreciate you. This is so needed. Thank you, Dolores. Yeah. Pepe, gotta run. Please post this video. I'm posting the video. Pepe, thank you. All that encourages me, because this is so important when you recognize. So when you put inside the people, when you put inside the company and you recognize you're putting in your life, you're going to increase the value of the company, and the company is going to recognize, I can't do this without him. It's going to put it right back into you. And that company, if they are a good company, guess what's going to happen? That company is going to increase your income. It's going to cause you to make more money. But even something more supernatural is going to take place. God put inside us the natural order to increase. And our physical body that he created for us has a natural disposition to be able to say, I'm worth more than this. And you'll find yourself that you will identify new locations of employment. That is a supernatural truth. You'll begin to recognize that there's other opportunities elsewhere. And you'll be able to exchange the value of your life with them even more and make a better earning for your family. I was thinking, thank you, Brenda. So make a better employment for your family. Your physical body, God created this physical body to do certain things. And that's one of the things your physical body does. And that's why sometimes when you're working, you get frustrated because you say, I'm worth more than this. You just haven't quite realized that that's what your frustration is built on. So you have to make a decision of one of two things. Number one, you're just going to quit, get up and go, which I don't recommend anybody do. Or number two, you're going to increase the value of that business. You're going to increase the value of that office, and you're going to do more. You're going to step it up. You're going to step it up. You're going to find out, what is it that I'm doing here that I can do even better? And you may say to yourself, I don't know. I don't know how to increase the value of this. Here's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to go to your boss and say, hey, is there anything I can do that can make my division be more productive? You watch the face of that employer. They're going to freak out, first of all, on the question, because I guarantee you 95% of the people around his office has not asked him that question. He's going to get blown away. This person really wants to increase the value. And the second thing is that person probably has already identified places that you could be more productive, but is afraid to tell you, especially in today's environment, because he's afraid to get sued. He's afraid to get fired. He's afraid to get written up. He's afraid that HR is going to step in. But the moment you open up that door, he's going to come and he's going to tell you, you know what? You lose time in this and this and this. And be prepared to receive what he's about to say. And then you make a commitment to that person. And you tell them, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to work hard to be able to fix this. Can you do me a favor? And if you see that I'm not being quite as effective, can you come and just talk to me? And just let me know. Give me an opportunity to repair it. I can repair it. And I give you that. I give you that opportunity to talk to me that way. And here's what's going to happen. That boss is going to flip out, but you're going to be on that boss's radar. And if that boss is supervising 5, 10, 15, 20 employees, trust me, you have just moved from obscurity. You've probably been obscure to where now you're going to be on the top of the chain, where he's going to say, you know what, that next raise, I'm going to remember that person. That's how you begin to increase your value. It's going to be good for you. Your dad was always a what? That's so true. Thank you so much. He saw things a different way, different mindset. And I used to tell him, I said, Dad, only give me what you could put in here and what you could put in here. I wasn't interested in what he could put here. I said, give me this. Give me my heart. Give me a good heart. Give me a good head. I'll figure all this out. And that's exactly what happened. A lot of people thought that he had this huge life insurance plan. He didn't have any life insurance plan. And the prosperity of the family is because he deposited well inside our minds, inside our hearts, and we understand how to exchange it. So, hey guys, y'all are best. I've taken up quite a bit of your time. Dolores, God bless you. Pepe, God bless you.